For the months of May and June, we'll be giving away 50,000 IOST tokens along with 3 Ledger Nanos, 2 of them sponsored by Nimic and 1 special edition Ledger Nano with an on-the-go kit. Winners announced July 1st. To enter, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on every video in May and June for your maximum number of entries. Bit Squad, what is going on? Another Fresh 5 video to give you the news, the top news of the day. We got a lot of news stories going on. Can't wait to share some of them with you. We're going to be looking at Ethereum absolutely pumping, which I called last week. And not only that, we're also going to be looking at some news connections on why that may be happening. We're also going to be taking a look at some more crypto haters. And I'm going to make some statements about Tron. I haven't been talking a lot about Tron lately. I'm going to share my thoughts on why that is and give you guys my thoughts on where Tron is as a project and kind of the future of me covering it here on the channel. Also, we are doing our contest. Make sure that you like and comment on each of our videos this month and next month for your maximum number of entries. Giving away 50,000 IOST tokens, even though that's kind of redundant because it's IOS token. But anyways, regardless of that, the fact is we're going to have 10 5,000 IOST winners along with 3 ledgers we're giving away over the next 2 months. So when I get tier 1 and I win as an IOST node, you guys win as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets. Market Watch. Okay, guys, we got the market cap's been holding pretty steady at $184 billion. Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise 55.3%. And honestly, the more that rises, the more strongly I feel that at some point we're going to have a hard break. That's going to drop drastically, and we're going to see that alt season everybody has been waiting for. So we have the Ethereum today on a huge tear, up 6%, was up about 8% earlier today, kind of out of nowhere. We're going to be looking at that in our news stories today. That's actually going to be our #1 story, so stay tuned for that. Let's look at the biggest winners of the day. We have Chainlink with some massive gains. They've got quite the shill army on Instagram. I had to block like 900 Link bots, but the Link team itself says that, that it's not them running those bots. So anyways, Chainlink has been tearing it up though. It's up 14% today. Loopring, Cubitica, Ethereum, and Populous all having great days. Then as far as bad days, we have Newton, which is down 15%. And, just like Newton said with gravity, what goes up must come down. It's been going up lately. Now it's going down. That was a really terrible joke because I don't even know what Newton is, but I know who Sir Isaac Newton is. Regardless, Maximind coin continuing to be the most volatile coin in the top 100. We see it almost every day in biggest winner or biggest loser. What that might say is a trend. If it's down a lot, you may want to grab some if you are into trading, not financial advice, because it seems like one day it's on the biggest loser, next day it's on the biggest riser. We got MadeSafe coin, one of the older coins in crypto, KuCoin and Aurora rounding out the biggest losers. Let's move to the news. Number 5. Okay, guys, let's start by talking about Tron. I've been getting a lot of questions. People have been saying, we see you talking about IOST. How do you feel about Tron? Are you still bullish on Tron? Do you still have a big bag of Tron? And, I found this news story today, so I'm going to tie this story no relation into what I'm going to say about my personal experience with Tron. But, the news story is Tron suffered from a critical bug that could have crashed its entire blockchain. And this is just another one of those FUD stories. Like, yes, this is true. But Tron did have a bug bounty program asking for people to help find bugs right around the time the mainnet was launched. And one of them was found. Several bugs were found. So, it makes it sound like this is like about to happen and it almost crashed the whole blockchain. It was right when they launched the mainnet. And this is very standard across the industry. Almost every project when it launches its mainnet has a bug bounty program. And guess what? People find bugs in it. That's why they do the programs. But, there's been a lot of stories about Tron lately I haven't covered. We have the story of Justin Sun talking about the, partnership between them. And I think it was Liverpool. I'm not sure. It was a soccer team, a professional soccer team. And it turns out that it was really just an invitation that they sent out to like 1,000 different people, and Tron got one, and Justin Sun made it out to be some kind of partnership, and it wasn't. Then, of course, we go back to the Tesla thing, which was actually the last time on my channel I really talked about Tron, I think. And then, we recently had this thing where, it was supposed to be, I think, a developer kit for Tron, but it was just like list of different exchanges that you could buy Tron on, yada, yada, yada. So I wonder if people think that that's really why I'm not covering Tron as much as I was, but I want to make some statements on it. Number one, I am still a Tron holder, and I'm still extremely bullish on Tron as a platform. I do think that if you took Justin Sun and you replaced him with any other CEO in crypto, I think Tron would be way ahead of where it is now. Yes, his marketing genius, some may say, or, idiocy, as some people may say, it has led Tron to be more in the headlines, but I think in a lot of ways he's done more damage than good because people look at Tron as just Justin Sun, and I don't think that's fair to the entire platform. I think Tron is a great platform. I think right now today, it is the number one decentralized platform, easiest to use, easiest to develop on, most transactions, most dApps, most dApp users, all across the board. I don't even understand why this is arguable, honestly, in my opinion. However, a lot of you guys know I run a node on IOST. I run a node there. I'm part of the IOST community. And yes, we live in a decentralized environment in cryptocurrency. However, I don't feel like it is fair for me running a node for the community of IOST to push Tron when it's probably their biggest competitor. So for that reason, I'm not going to be covering Tron as much as I was. I'm not going to be shilling Tron to you in any stretch of the imagination. Not that I ever necessarily did that. All my thoughts were my own and my own perspective on what I was investing in. So if you guys have seen me back off from Tron, that does not mean that I'm any less bullish on it. A lot of stuff Justin Sun has done recently has been kind of embarrassing. And, for Tron in general, in my opinion, I still think that, Tron is much more than one man. I still think the platform is great, but I did want to take this time to really explain to you guys my whole thoughts on where Tron is and why I haven't been covering it as much as I was. Like I said, I feel like it's unfair of me to say, IOST, I represent you, when on the other hand, I'm pushing their biggest competitor, because I do believe that Tron and IOST are going to be the two biggest, most used decentralized platforms out there. So just want to give you guys my thoughts on that, my perspective, and you guys can take that for whatever it's worth. So am still bullish on it, do still like it, but I'm not going to be pushing it every day. If there's legitimate news on it like this, I'm going to cover it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to push Tron, if that makes sense. Number 4. Okay, should we shut down cryptocurrencies? Joseph Stiglitz, he is a renowned economist, financial expert. He says we should shut down the cryptocurrencies. I'm probably going to make that the title of this video, shutting down the cryptocurrencies, because it's so funny. What a stupid statement. But basically what this guy is saying, he's a Nobel Prize winning economist. He's basically saying that there are way too many opportunities for people to do scandalous things with financial transactions when it comes to cryptocurrency. Basically, there's not, the irony in this is he says that it's not as transparent as our current system. He's a big fan of the dollar, loves the dollar, but, which is funny because there are 100 times more, at least minimum, I would say 1,000 times more nefarious transactions minimum using the US dollar, using cash, than using cryptocurrency. So this is really a totally idiotic statement. These are the kinds of people that, on one hand, they're really, really smart. Obviously, he's a Nobel Prize winner, but on the other hand, they're resistant to change. Notice a lot of those Nobel Prize winners are pretty old. And yes, some people have called me a boomer at 36 years old, but I would like to think that even as I get older in age, I'm not resistant to change. I like to embrace change, to see things that are different. And a lot of people, as they get older, they just have a really, really hard time. So I consciously try to embrace change, even in things I don't like. For instance, I was having this conversation with my friend Crypto Sanity. You guys may know him from Twitter. I was having this conversation about rap. I like rap music. That's the kind of music that I really prefer. And he asked me about mumble rap. And I was like, mumble rap is kind of dumb. I don't really like it. However, I do listen to some of it, and I like some of it. Not all of it, not most of it, but some of it, because I understand that, there's this thing when you're a teenager, the music you listen to as a teenager, you always put on a pedestal and you feel like this is the best music out there. And so when new music comes along, like you panic. You say, that's not good. Remember the glory days? And I try really hard not to be like that. I try to embrace new kinds of music, even if it's not my cup of tea at first. Like I'll listen because that's the evolution of music. That's how things change over time. And so, this guy right here, he's stuck in his ways, obviously. Whatever he won that Nobel Prize for, like he's stuck at that time because he can't see the future. Similar to Warren Buffett coming out saying something similar over the weekend. These people are resistant to change. They like their old structures of how things are. It's worked out well for them. They're very well off. They don't want to see change. They don't want to see redistribution of wealth. So that's why people come out and continue making these idiotic statements when anyone that knows anything about blockchain knows it's the future. There's no question about it. I had a friend say that to me this weekend, like, man, I really feel like the scales are off my eyes and I can really see clearly on where this is going. And that's a great moment when you really understand that. There's in my mind, no ifs, ands, or buts about the future of our, economic system. The question is, how is it going to happen, not if it's going to happen. Number 3. All right, Facebook. Cryptocurrency keeps sounding worse and worse as insider leaks new partners, Visa and MasterCard. So an unnamed source from the Wall Street Journal made some statements. It says, if he is to be believed, we now know some specifics on where that $1 billion will come from in terms of funding the project. Visa, MasterCard, and a company you may not know by name, but processes many of the payments for them, First Data Corp. And for the first time, I really thought about today, when it comes to cryptocurrency and the future of it, and Facebook's role, and Visa's role, and MasterCard's role, if they're all kind of presenting a united front, can they shape the narrative of cryptocurrency? Can they turn it from decentralized to centralized? I don't know. We look at XRP. I would think most people would consider it to be centralized. Some people don't. The people that own it don't. But, most people would consider it to be that way. Could we see Facebook and XRP and Visa and MasterCard all working together somehow? I don't know how all that would work out, but it seems like there is some kind of civil war brewing in cryptocurrency. Maybe something similar to Avengers Endgame. Like we just got two sides rising up. We got Facebook trying to be Thanos, wanting to snap out all the different crypto projects. I hope that wasn't a spoiler. I hope it wasn't a spoiler. But I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but interestingly enough, I did heard that Facebook wants to do a privacy coin. I don't know how true that is, but definitely something we're going to have to keep watching because these companies are not going to sit on the sidelines as this new economic system rises up. They're definitely going to want to play a part. The question is, how big of a role are we going to let them play? Number 2. All right, in part 1 of 2 stories regarding possible institutional money, we're looking at Fidelity. So here we go. $7 trillion asset giant Fidelity to launch crypto trading within weeks. How many times have we heard this, guys? A lot of people say this Fidelity move is one of the biggest, is going to be one of the biggest moves in all of crypto that we've seen to this date. That this is going to be absolutely huge, whatever Fidelity is bringing to the table with their custodial services and things like this. But are you guys not just so sick of within weeks? Insiders say, before long, this may happen. How many times have we heard this? It's like the opposite of FUD. I guess you call it hopium, right? This is that hopium we've all been waiting for. We don't feel like we have to rely on hopium as much right now, just for the simple fact that it seems like the markets are kind of improving on their own and moving forward. But I'm just so sick of hearing this is going to happen within weeks. I don't know. What would be really interesting is if this launches during consensus and we finally get that consensus pump we've been waiting on since last year. So, like I said, I've said this before. I am going up to consensus. I don't have a ticket. I'm going up to New York City. They're $1,000, and I'm not paying $1,000 for a conference ticket. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. And they don't do media passes, which I found absolutely stupid. I cannot believe they don't do media passes. Probably why they don't is because it's CoinDesk. And CoinDesk is trying to, I guess, put a monopoly on the crypto media business. So they don't want to provide media passes. Decentralization, right, guys? So anyways, I don't know if we will see this soon, but, that kind of would line up with some, I think there's going to be a lot of big stories launched during the week of consensus. So it wouldn't surprise me if that does happen. Hold up. It's time for an IOST break. All right, time for our daily IOST break. So we're going to look at this IOST times Nest, XNest, I don't know what you say. IOST and Nest, unlocking a wealth of opportunity in decentralized finance, which I finally discovered today that you can say that DeFi, that's decentralized finance, DeFi. So Here we go. We got IOST and Nest. So IOST is excited to announce that we have struck a partnership with Nest to develop new applications. Nest is a decentralized financial service protocol that allows developers to conduct application development and launch decentralized financial products on the Nest protocol. So this is the part to me that was super, super interesting. To date, Nest's Ethereum dApp already has a user amount of over 10,000 with over 3,000 collateral loan contracts and transaction volumes exceeding $6 million. So, it's very interesting that we have this project Nest that has already been successful on Ethereum. I mean, I'm surprised Ethereum has any dApps with that many users, honestly. So, because 99% of them don't. But, this is a dApp that's been successful on Ethereum. We've already seen IOST leveraging dApps that have already been successful on other platforms on their platform. We've already seen it with the Endless Game, which is also on the EOS or EOS blockchain, however you want to say it. Now we have Nest that's already been successful on Ethereum, going to be launching on IOST as well. So, I think that the more dApps that IOST is able to bring over to their blockchain and to their platform, I think it's just better all the way around. And it's kind of like, these dApps that already have a user base, we all know, like a lot of people, or most people who are using dApps aren't just using dApps from one platform, they're using them from different platforms. So you kind of already have a user base to build on and to pull over if possible. Like with the Endless Game, all it takes is a click to go back and forth between IOST and EOS. So, maybe we'll see the same thing here with Nest, but definitely very interesting and something, that I'm pretty excited about when it comes to IOST. The number one crypto story of the day. All right, guys, part 2 of our institutional top 2 stories, Ethereum. So Ethereum's been absolutely pumping today. We'll take a look at the chart here really quick. I'll pull up the... What chart do you guys think I should pull up? Let's pull up the 7-day chart. So look at the 7-day chart, and you can see absolutely pumped today. A pump we haven't seen from Ethereum in quite a while, heading back over or back towards $200. For a long time, I think it was either 155 or 165. Excuse me, that was the resistance for Ethereum. Either way, it passed it today. So, definitely something, if you're in Ethereum, you're very excited about. Last week, I had a story where I told you guys Ethereum was getting ready to go on a run. Don't like to pat myself on the back. I'm lying. I love it. I love to pat myself on the back. Look at this. I'll pat myself left and right, all the way around. Love patting myself on the back when I read a story and report it, and then it comes true, even though it wasn't my own story. But anyways, guys, we were right on that. We called that right on the nose. We had a huge pump today, and the question is why? A lot of times we get these pumps and, your TA people would have you believe it's strictly TA. However, we did have some big news from Ethereum today. So once again, from an insider, seems to be, we think, regulators ready to approve Ethereum, CFTC insider says. Which I saw the movie Inside Man the other day. I've seen it before. That's a great movie, Inside Man. You guys check that out if you haven't seen it. Denzel Washington and can't remember the other guy, but it's a really good movie. Gerard something. I can't remember his last name. Sorry. Gerard Butler? Is that maybe his name? I don't even know. But it's a good movie. It's about a bank robbery. You guys should watch it if you haven't seen it. So here we go. The U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which is kind of the antithesis to the SEC. SEC handles things that, are not securities, and CFTC handles things that are securities. I got that totally wrong. Let me say that again. The SEC, obviously, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC handles things that are securities, and the CFTC handles things that are not securities. Now, there was a case that came out, or, CFTC came out and made a statement that already said Ethereum generally is not a security. There was a little back and forth on that, but so basically what that means is it falls under the umbrella of the CFTC. So the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission is willing to approve an Ether futures contract provided it ticks all the right boxes, a senior official has told CoinDesk. So once again, it says it will approve the contract provided it ticks all the right boxes. So I don't know, guys. Does this mean that this is going to come for sure it's hard to say at this point. I do feel like that it would be kind of irresponsible, to put out this article without having at least some, belief in this insider. This is from CoinDesk. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. A lot of these crypto sites are really just glorified blogs. And, CoinDesk is at least a little more journalistic than many of the sites that you read. So, if CoinDesk puts it on there, you can pretty much say that either they've been paid to put it on there as a sponsored news story, which does happen, or it is a legitimate story. So, definitely, I don't think it's a coincidence we get this news today and the pump on the same day. I definitely think they're related in some form or fashion. So that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about my thoughts on Tron. Let me know what you think about Facebook, Visa, MasterCard. Drop some comments below. Get your entries for the contest. And that's all we got today. So BitBoy out.